dishes. But also I'm going to be doing an old favorite of mine. You guys, my regulars, will have seen me do it 50 times on Twitch, so I'm sorry if you've seen me do this, but I am actually going to be doing my usual stuffed eggplant, okay? Hakka yong tofu, Hakka stuffed eggplant with fish paste. But you make me hungry. Oh, cool. Apart from that, I'm going to do some stir-fried vegetables, which I think will help some of the Twitch community. For those of you guys who want to kind of wrap your heads around doing stir fries, but also what you can actually stir fry, all right? Because you always talk about stir fried Chinese greens, and I know a lot of my Twitch community are actually high schoolers and also uni students who may not be 100% comfortable tracking down the right Chinese greens. So we are actually going to stir fry a couple of veggies that you can actually easily pick up from any supermarket or greengrocer. We're stir frying lettuce today, okay? And also we're stir frying cucumber, all right? So it sounds really weird, but in fact, you know, in my childhood in Malaysia, we actually ate more stir fried cucumber and lettuce than you would actually expect of a Chinese family. So it is fairly authentic in its vibe, all right? You don't look like you need to eat low carbs. Oh, Julie, it's all about camera angles and all that sort of stuff. Oh God. If you've seen a photo of me, I mean, I've got a lot of like portrait photos and stuff like that. If you've seen a photo of me where I'm in a black top and I'm leaning forward like this, looking really glamorous, right? I was actually 7 months pregnant with Noah at the time. And I was actually 3 weeks away from delivery, from giving birth to him. But you couldn't tell because I looked so like, you know, not your typical puffy, whatever. And that's because I was actually, they imposed a low carb diet on me, not because of the fact that I was overweight to start with, no, but it was because I had what's called gestational diabetes, which apparently seems to afflict a lot of Asian women and older women, right? So I was both. I was 44 or whatever, 44, 45 when I was pregnant with Noah. So I had gestational diabetes, and they actually made me go on a low carb diet. You could eat as much as you want, but as long as you cut down on your carbs. And yeah, I think you know how that they go on about how that joke about how you're really ashamed about your photos because you think you look fat, and then a few years later you look back and you think, oh gee, I wish I looked fat like I did back then. You know, that's exactly how I feel about those photos. So I think there's a lot to be said for low carb diets, right? So I'm going to actually Disco Potato, hey, how you doing? So the idea is to actually try and get back into this low carb thing and see how I go about 6 to 8 weeks from now, all right? So before I go on any further, I just want to give a shout out to Lenovo Australia and New Zealand for the laptop I use for my live streaming, which is a Lenovo IdeaPad Y700. It's a gaming laptop. Okay, so let's get started. Like I said, one of the things I'm going to be doing is my go-to favorite, which is stuffed eggplant, all right? So those of you who've seen this 50 times, I'm sorry about that. But like I said, I bought some lettuce here yesterday. This cost me 99 cents. I've already used half of it this morning. Well, about a third of it maybe. Okay, so this is like just like lettuce leaves. And in all honesty, if I were to do stir-fried lettuce, I wouldn't usually get this type of lettuce leaves, but it doesn't matter. Usually I get the butter lettuce. What is it? Butter lettuce? Is that what you call it? All right, but this was cheap, 99 cents for a big bag of it. All right, so it suits the impoverished uni student demographic. And I bought a bag of cucumber. This was $1.49. All right, that's a lot of cucumber over here. So. Like I said, back in my childhood days, and I'm trying to see. I just realized why it's $1.49. Some of this is a little bit crushed. No, it's okay. All right. So cucumber, and look, if you want to be healthy, leave the skin on. But really, before this whole all this modern day not theories, I guess, discoveries about what parts of vegetables are healthy for you. Back in Malaysia, we used to actually peel the cucumber skin, all right, or at least just score it lightly so that it's not too tough, okay? So what we might do with this is actually just peel like half of it maybe. So let's get started. So low carb over the next few weeks, I'm gonna like severely cut down on, you know, you've seen me like do all this cooking with all this rice and noodles and all that. So you may actually see a little bit less of that over the next few weeks. But if you want to join me on my low carb journey and keep me accountable, and I'll keep you accountable, we can all do this, all right? I'm trying to find my peeler. Alright, can't find my peeler. Maybe I'll leave it on. Congrats on your TV thing. It looks like you soon will be you soon, your face will be at KLTV. Yeah, look, I mean, let me just cancel this. Yeah, that is pretty exciting. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about this TV thing. I've been very silent about it because it's a very like regional thing. Basically, I am co-founder of a startup called Teeb, T-E-E-B. It was it's Teeb TV and now Teeb Digital Media as well. All right, Teeb Media as well. So we started out as an online streaming platform. So these cucumbers, like I said, you can just kind of like cut off like, you know, a little bit of the skin here like this and leave some of it on. Let me just move this out of the way. So it started out as an online streaming platform, and the content was focused on indie productions, okay? So if you're an independent filmmaker, you want to get your content out to our audience, which is concentrated, it's not limited to, but it's targeted at Southeast Asia, primarily Indonesia, more to the point, all right? And Indonesia has a population of over 200 million, so it's a sizable demographic. Okay, so our content can be Indonesian, but a lot of the time it's not. So we've got all kinds of content. We've got Swedish indie horror feature films. We've got like a lot of like, we've even got sitcoms from America made by Asians. They're quite good, right? They're really interesting, really funny. One of the sitcom series producers is this guy. His name is Ravi Naidu. He's Indian, based in Los Angeles, and you've seen him in a number of like TV shows. His things like, I don't know what specifically, but you can imagine your usual, like, you know, maybe like NCIS and those kinds of shows, you know, your typical big blockbuster type TV shows. He makes appearances in those kinds of shows, but he also is a passionate filmmaker on the side. So he's made a number of like sitcom comedy stuff, and you can watch them at teebtv.com, www.teebtv.com. And also we have a lot of content from Bollywood, all right? And we have even MMA content as well, mixed martial arts, stuff like that. So then we expanded because we noticed that a lot of people we want to work with don't actually have their own content, as in like brands and that sort of stuff. So we expanded to become a media agency, right? So what we can do for any company that wants to get their content out, we can, I'm just completely out of whack. My camera angle is a little bit stuffed. Okay, so what we can do is we can create content, because my co-founder Azwan Muda, who's Malaysian, based in Malaysia, he actually was a TV producer before this whole like thing, all right? So back in the day, he was involved in a couple of like very highly regarded Malaysian feature films. And so we expanded to be a digital media company, so we can create content for your brands with our team. And then we also do a lot of film festivals and all that sort of stuff as well. And then subsequently, just in the last the most recent development is that we were appointed the media content provider and media agency for Kuala Lumpur Television, Kuala Lumpur International Airport Television, more to the point. All right, so you go to Kuala Lumpur Airport, which has like 89 million people go through it a year. there are all these big TV screens. Some are bigger than others, so they are upwards of like 45 inches big. Some of them are like, if you go to the passenger, like what do you call it, the you know, the flights itinerary board thing, there's some of these screens that are giant. All right, so we can get your content out there. So and because essentially what we do is that we now you can actually buy advertising spots for your brand to get it up on Kuala Lumpur International Airport television. But of course, it's not just advertisements. We also can put up like content as well for other people to watch, right? People don't want to just be watching commercials on a loop. So that's where I come into it. I've got a lot of content. So because we dictate what content can go up on those 350 big screens at Kuala Lumpur Airport, I'm going to throw some of my content up there, all right? So if you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/JackieM, I've actually made a number of like productions over the years. Here you go, that's my cucumber. So I've done a number of TV quality productions. I mean, some are TV quality and some are like online quality. But like I did a 4-parter, right, a couple of years ago, where I traveled around Malaysia and filmed basically a 4-part series on Malaysian street food. Okay, it's kind of like a journey throughout Malaysia, and it was made and produced by these guys who make travel, whose specialty is travel shows. Okay, they've got a travel show which I've also been in. It's called The Travel Bug, which is on Australian television. So these guys went to Malaysia with me to film this 4-parter. So I'm going to throw it up on Kuala Lumpur International Airport television. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, ultimately, you know, we've got other plans for KL International Airport TV, but I'm not going to get into it too much at this point because I don't want to get ahead of myself. But if all things fall in line, we've got some big announcements coming your way about it. All right, so I've got some garlic. Every time I do a stir fry, I desperately need a lot of garlic. That's all I've got left, so I'm going to actually, I would traditionally mince it, but all right, why the hell? Why not? Let's do it. Sometimes I'm a little bit reticent about getting my food processors dirty, just for a few garlic cloves, you know. But I figure I'm going to actually be using it for. I'm going to be actually mincing some fish after this as well, so I might as well. Let's get this plugged in. On the right plug. Okay, that's it. Hey Lisa, how you doing? Lisa from Facebook. Alright, so that's the garlic. Let's just mince this quickly. And by the way, I'm using an Optimum Thermocook here, which is like a Thermomix but made by Optimum. Alright. Okay, here you go. Oops, a bit more. The less there is for it to grab, you know, the harder it is to get it minced up like efficiently. Okay. Here you go. So first person to say hello, that they're from New South Wales, who hasn't already won one of those ayam sauce sets, please say hello, let me know, and I'll grab your address, your name and address, they'll whisper it to me, and I will add your name to the list of 9 that I already have, that I'm going to send through to Ayam Australia, New Zealand. And I also have a bunch of other giveaways. I'm not sure if I'll announce it today. I already gave away 1 set of the Satay Boys sauce packs. You get 6 jars of satay sauces, Vietnamese satay sauce. But I gave away 1 set on Friday, I believe, or was it Wednesday? I can't remember now. So that's going to run through November. And for those who have one other stuff from my channel that I haven't sent your giveaways out to, I'm really sorry, all right? But I aim to send it out early part of this week. So that's the garlic that's minced up, right? I probably won't need all of it. I just figured I might as well mince the rest of it while I have the chance. So like I said, we're going to be stir frying this, stir frying lettuce, both of them with garlic, and with the cucumber, I'm going to actually add some dried shrimp. This is what it looks like, all right? There you go. If you go to youtube.com/JackieM, that's my YouTube channel, I actually have a video to show you how to prepare dried shrimp, right? But essentially, in a nutshell, all you really need to do is just soak it in some hot water usually, or in my case, I'm just going to rinse it briefly. Okay, so this is minced dried shrimp. This is like essentially the cheapest variety of minced dried shrimp you can actually find because it's small. Okay, and this is from Vietnam. Oh, it's imported from Vietnam, and it actually says dried tiny shrimp, right? Generally, the larger the shrimps are, the more expensive it is. And back in the day, growing up in Malaysia, this was considered kind of like poor person's food, you know. But now it's become almost like a luxury because, you know, it's obviously shrimp is quite expensive, but it's salty. If you can't find it, don't worry about it, leave it out. And if you want to make a vegan version of it, you can replace the dried shrimp with what they use in pad thai. This is something called preserved radish. All right, so this is what it looks like. I use this in a couple of my dishes, but the Thais are known to use this in pad thai. So you can buy this pre-minced, and it's preserved radish. Okay. In fact, a lot of Malaysian cooks are not familiar with this. They know preserved radish as the bigger chunks of preserved radish, which is very salty. All right, that one you actually need to mince if you want it minced, obviously, or you know, depending on how you use it. That one usually is from China. This one is from Thailand, and it's got a little bit of a sweet undertone to it. All right, I prefer using this to the big, larger radishes that you gotta slice up and all that sort of stuff. But I'm not going to. Hey, Freeway Pirate, how you doing? I owe you a giveaway. We're just going out this week. I was just telling everyone. Sorry about the delay. Okay, so minced dried shrimp. This particular version you can actually find in the freezer or refrigerator section of Asian grocery stores here in Australia. There are other varieties which are drier, which don't need refrigeration. Generally, those ones would be more expensive. Some of them are so expensive that they keep them behind the counter at your Asian grocery store, all right? Because, you know, pilferage and whatever, with the threat of it. So, like I said, with these, you actually... Did I take some out already? Sometimes I talk and I lose my train of thought. You don't need a lot of this, all right? A little goes a long way. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to actually do a little bit more, but I'm going to use some of it in my fish paste as well today, all right? So there you go. And like I say, you usually would be expected to just like soak it in some hot water or whatever. That helps to soften it up a little bit as well. But yeah, I'm going to actually use some of this unminced, okay? You can use it whole, or you can mince it up in your food processor. So I might use some of it unminced. Let's just pour some water through this. If nothing else, it helps to kind of like rinse out some of the grit and whatever else, okay? Here you go. And so let's get on to doing the fish first, okay? So I want to make fish paste from my bass fillets. And this is where all my regulars tune out because, like I said, you've seen me do it like pretty much once every 2 weeks on average, you will have seen me do it. Okay, but these are defrosted frozen bass fillets. That's the cheapest kind of fish you can get here in Australia that is actually suitable for making fish paste with. Okay, a lot of Malaysians who live here in Australia say, oh, how much they miss yong tau fu, stuffed vegetables, because They don't know how to make it at home. They expect it. I think a lot of Malaysians are used to seeing the traditional way of making dishes. Okay, back in the day in Malaysia, you would get a whole fish. You would actually have to scrape the flesh off and scrape off the skin and all that. Pick out the bones, and then you chop it with your cleaver, with your knife. All right, that's how my parents used to make it. So I think a lot of Malaysians are still stuck in that mindset. All right, because I used to own a restaurant, I know a lot of shortcuts and I know a lot of cost cutting ways of preparing food. So this is how I do it. I use basso fillets. Okay, so instead of paying $30 a kilo for mackerel or something similar, which is what they would actually usually use back in Malaysia traditionally. Okay, I use basso, which is $6.50 a kilo frozen. Okay, so we want to just, this is actually only half a pack, or 2/3 of a pack. Okay, so it's defrosted. And so the one thing to note is that basso fillets have a lot of moisture in them. Okay, so if you use this frozen, you're going to find that maybe your fish paste might turn out a little bit too soggy. Okay, and in fact, if I were using a different type of fish, if I were using fresh fish like red fish fillets, which is what we used to use when we first came to Australia, red fish fillets was a good substitute for mackerel and the more expensive varieties of fish. They used to cost $6 a kilo. Now red fish fillets, the last time my brother checked, it costs like nearly $30 a kilo. So it goes to show that things can go up. But red fish fillets, you buy them fresh, all right, they're not frozen. But when you make fish paste with it, we used to have to add some water to it, all right. With the basso, because it's so high in moisture, I generally avoid adding any water to it, otherwise it ends up being too soft and bloody, all right. So let's throw this in. Okay, so that's my food processor. I'm going to throw all of it in. Usually I would split this into 2 batches, okay, but this isn't quite a full pack. So let me take this out, and I'm just going to move this out of the way because there's a lot of sloppy water in it. Okay, so that's my fish. I'm going to, like I said, for this particular batch, I'm going to throw in some minced dried shrimp, okay, just as a point of difference. You don't actually need to do this usually. It's a little bit of a Hakka feature to add minced dried shrimp, and in fact, usually they add minced pork into this as well, all right? But I don't eat pork, so. Okay, so minced dried shrimp, and just add other stuff to it. I'm pretty sure this is tapioca starch. Let's just assume it is. Okay, so I'll put a little bit of tapioca starch. That just helps to kind of like keep everything, it sticks everything together basically. All right, so some white pepper, generous amount of white pepper. I'm gonna add a pinch of sugar to this because basso fillets tend to be a little bit on the bland side, all right? A little bit of sugar. And I'm going to put in chicken powder, all right? You can, in lieu of chicken powder, you can just use salt. Back in the day when I had my restaurant, this was actually this recipe was originally from my brother, CS, who's actually a church minister, who's, you wouldn't know it, he probably cooks better than me. But this is his recipe. But instead of chicken powder, which is how I do it, he would use a combination of salt and MSG, all right, straight out MSG, because we Asians are not generally known to be as dubious about MSG as some Westerners. All right, so let's just blend this. All right, let's have a look how it. Okay, here's what it looks like. So poke around. I don't want this too like over processed because there you go. because the blades in your food processor can overheat, and you don't want that to happen, because when it overheats, when it comes into contact with the fish, it can actually end up pseudo cooking the fish, okay, and that's completely going to ruin this dish for you. Let me just get a metal bowl to take this out. Okay, so you can see the little specks of orange there, that's the dried shrimp, all right, but that's actually optional. Oh, thanks for hosting, Dibs. So you can take this out, and usually I would keep, like if I were making a full batch of it, I don't always use all of it up at one go, okay? This is like, if you didn't put the seasoning and all that, you can actually use it as like a base fish paste, and then you can add other stuff to it as you see fit for a whole ton of different dishes, okay? Because we Asians use fish paste. It's a way of stretching like fish, you know what I mean? So instead of having a whole fish to yourself, you can actually, from a whole fish, you can make a paste that you can then use to smear on other foodstuffs, right? Or eat with other foodstuffs, okay? So one popular usage of fish paste is to make fish balls, right? That you have with a ton of noodles, but again, we're going low carb, so no noodles. You can have noodles in a noodle bowl, a bowl of noodle soup. You can make fish cakes with it, all right? You can slice it up, also put it in noodle soup, or you can use it as stir fry in a stir fry noodle dish. You can make otak-otak, which is a Malaysian fish cake, right? You use some of this fish paste, add some curry spices to it, add some shredded kaffir lime leaves, add some egg, and add some coconut milk, mix it all up into a moussey kind of paste, and then you wrap it in banana leaves, or you wrap it in coconut leaves if you can get coconut leaves, and you grill it, and that's your otak-otak, all right? You can grill it or you can steam it, okay? And you can also make Thai fish cakes as well, you know, cut up like some snake beans, toss it through, and then fry it up, and then get these like saucer shaped Thai fish cakes as well. So fish paste is very, very versatile. But my favorite way of using it, which is almost exclusively the only way I use it, is to make yong tau fu, which is stuffed vegetables, okay? I'm just trying to get the rest of this out. Here you go. Okay, first person from New South Wales to say hello. Don't forget, I've got one last set of ayam sauces to send out to you. You just need to say, hey, I'm from New South Wales and I am your follower on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/JackieMFood. All right. Okay, so there you go. Let's move this away. Okay, so I've got the eggplant over here. How much did this cost? This cost $3.94. All right, 3 giant eggplant, and I've got one leftover eggplant from a previous batch of stuffed vegetables. So you can see I eat this a lot. Just let me get another cutting board. All right, I'll put this away as well at the same time. Who has ever tried a low-carb diet? It's hard to go low-carb when you're eating Asian food, but we are going to try, all right? And there was no cheating when I was pregnant and I had to go on a low-carb diet, because they make you actually test your blood sugar levels 3 times a day after every meal. And you have to actually send through your results right through. In a report, I think a weekly report, you have to send through like all your blood sugar readings, and you get in trouble with the medical team if you if it exceeds a certain level. Soybean Jenny says hi. She's streaming. Ah, cool radio. What's she streaming? Okay. this off. Cool. So let's do 3 of them, maybe. Okay, so these are big giant eggplant. In Malaysia, like we didn't get these kinds of eggplant when I was growing up in Malaysia. We got the long skinny ones. This is kind of like one that split the difference. But if it were long and skinny, this is how you would cut it, all right? You leave it whole and then just cut it down like this, okay? Essentially what you want is, there you go. You want a piece that's got a slit down the middle, chicken karaage and some pumpkin. Oh, cool, so she's cooking. Damn. Soybean Jenny is a great cook, you know, by the way, guys. If you're looking for another streamer to follow on Twitch, go look for Soybean Jenny. She does craft, but she's also started to do cooking streams as well. So she's actually an Asian based in Canada. And she's, yeah, I didn't know it at the time. Because when I first connected with her, she wasn't doing food streams, but I followed her on Instagram, and I started seeing all these amazing dishes that she was cooking on. I told her she should actually do some cooking streams, so it looks like she is doing that more nowadays. Okay, so with a big fat eggplant, you want to cut it in half down the middle. All right, so you got 2 halves like this, and now you see it's still quite thick. Now you want to do the pockets as well. Okay, so you cut like about 1 centimeter either side and a slit down the middle here. Okay. So with the stuffed, with the fish paste, you can actually, like I said, you can diversify, right? You can actually add some mince in it. You can add some, what was I going to say? Sometimes if I were making like fried fish balls, I would actually add like minced onion through that, all right? So the fried onion just has a really nice flavor. And then if you were, yeah. I'm just trying to think. You can add prawn if you want to go a little bit excessive, all right? Prawn is expensive, but you can mince some prawn and mix that in with the fish as well. And if you want to make fish balls and you want a firmer textured fish ball, because remember I say bassett fillets have a little bit of quite a bit of a moisture content in them. If you want to make fish balls, you can actually add a bit of chicken mince, all right? Mince it with the fish paste to the point, like if you mince it with the fish paste, pre-minced chicken that's already finely minced chicken, it's going to blend into the fish paste and you wouldn't even know there was chicken in it, all right? But you want only a small ratio. You want a ratio about 1 part chicken to 5 parts fish, all right? But that actually helps to give your fish balls a firmer texture. Okay, so let's bring the fish paste back over here and let's do the stuffing. Cleaning my house and rearranging stuff all over the place, but one thing I haven't sorted out is my cutlery drawer. All right, so that's what it looks like. So what you want to do is just, you can use a butter knife, really. That was what I was aiming for, but this is the best I can find. So a bit of spatula, a bit of fish paste, and you just basically smear it in that slit, all right? And back when I used to help my mom in the kitchen, we used to have like a separate bowl of like salted water and that was used to just help smooth it out with the blade of your knife. All right, I pretty much don't do that anymore, but that's just something that you might want to have a go at. Let me just. Okay, so in that goes. And of course, apart from eggplant, you can stuff a whole bunch of other types of vegetables as well. Chilies are a favorite of mine. Eggplant and chilies are my two favorite stuffed vegetables. You can do tofu, whether fresh white tofu or tofu puffs. You can do mushrooms. Back in Malaysia, we would traditionally use dried mushrooms, all right? Soaked dried mushrooms with the stems cut out will work really well, but dried mushrooms are expensive nowadays. So when we came to Australia, my stepmom discovered that Aussie fresh button mushrooms work just as well, and they were a lot cheaper as well, and that you don't have to soak them and whatever else, okay? So you can just be a little bit creative as to what you can stuff. You can do capsicum, right? Because capsicum, if you cut it open and then cut it into slices that are like like moon-shaped slices, you can stuff them in the concave bit. All right, just make sure that you stuff it well enough that it doesn't, the filling doesn't slip out when you're frying this up. And of course, in Malaysia, we used to stuff ladies' fingers as well, what you call okra. You can stuff tofu sheets as well, all right? So you can buy tofu sheets. You've seen me do that before. And actually just lay them out flat. Some types don't need pre-soaking, others do. Lay them out flat. Just put a smear of like a teaspoon of stuffing in the middle, and then fold it up into a rectangular, just fold it up in half, all right? And that go give you tofu sheets. Tofu sheets, yeah, with a bit of fish paste in the middle. Or you can actually roll them into tubes, all right? Stuff more into it, roll them into tubes, and you get like these tubes of stuffed fish that are made with tofu skin. Okay, here you go. No wonder my fish bowl is always too soft, not springy. All right. The other thing about getting it springy is that if you want it really springy, when I'm doing stuffed veggies, I'm not really too fixated on like the springiness factor. To me, like it's a little bit lost on me. But if you want it springy, what you should actually technically do, which my dad used to do, is actually handle the fish paste and actually slam it down with your hand, all right? So you actually pick this up with your hand and then just keep slamming it on the side of the bowl, all right? And what that does is that it expels the air that's naturally contained in the fish paste, and that makes it more dense, and effectively, when you use it, when you make fish balls and stuff with it, you technically will get about like a firmer, springier fish ball, okay? So there's a lot of science behind, art. I don't ever call it scientific, but online, if you look at some people's blogs, they will talk about how you have to slam it 50 times and that sort of stuff. But look, it's up to you if you want to have a go at it, all right? But yeah, we Asians are very generally, especially if you're of Chinese ethnicity, the whole springiness in a lot of different dishes, not just in making fish bowls and fish paste and whatever, is a big deal to the Chinese, all right? The Malays, not so much. So the slight different nuances of how we approach our cooking among the different ethnicities. Are you married? No, I am not. All right, here you go. All right, so just stuff. Like I said, this looks a little bit rough. If you want, you can smooth it down a little bit, but I'm gonna fry it all up, and it's all gonna be braised in like oyster sauce ultimately, so you're not going to, you're not gonna be taking too close a look at this. Well, I would hope not anyway. All right, so this, like, I actually just blended in the food processor for 5 seconds, okay? This one here, there's a little bit of a tough chunk in here, but it doesn't matter. I'll just stuff it in. Like I said, you want to be very light-handed when you blitz this in your food processor or blender, because you can run the risk of actually over-processing it, okay? And back in the day, depending on the time, when I said I use redfish fillets, my brother used to recommend, like especially in summer, instead of adding water. Remember earlier I said like we were using redfish fillets, we would actually add some water to the fish paste when we process it. Instead of adding water, he would suggest adding ice cubes, all right, just to make sure the blades don't overheat when you're processing this. Here you go. This is something that I can eat like all week, but usually I eat it with rice, so that's why I'm trying to figure out what a good rice substitute would be. Don't say cauliflower, guys, because I hate cauliflower. I saw I don't know if you guys are aware that the whole like cauliflower fried rice thing is a big thing nowadays. We'll slam it about 50 times. Hey Chewy, how you doing? Kettle, oh no, Georgia just got nuked. Kettle, you kill me. Oh god. Was it North Korea this time, Kettle? So, New South Wales people, alright? I need a first person to say on Twitch, hey, I'm from New South Wales and I haven't yet won an ayam giveaway. Say so now, alright? And then you will be the last person to win my ayam giveaway. I've got 10 sets of ayam sauces. You see the picture down there at the bottom right? Kettle, I'm glad I can joke about tile style. Yeah, well, one of these days, you know, you keep crying wolf. One of these days, you're going to say, oh, this happened to me, and nobody is going to believe you, Kettle. And that stupid cake you posted that you said you baked for your dad, that was so funny. Anyway. But yeah, one of these days, Kettle was like, for those of you who don't know, Kettle was joined one of my Twitch streams one day, and then halfway through the stream, he said, oh my god, you know, he said he was from Georgia in the former USSR. It turns out in reality he's actually from Georgia in the USA. He said he was from Georgia in the former USSR, and they were in a civil war with the Russians. I'm thinking, really? Were they? I didn't realize, you know. But then you never know. Like you hear about like conflicts in the Ukraine and that sort of stuff, and you think, oh, well, I'm just being really dumb about my geography and my stuff. So you give him the benefit of the doubt, and then it just got more and more ridiculous. At some point during the stream, he said that his house had been blown up by Russian soldiers, and his dad was injured, and he was hiding under the bed. And people were going, "Then why are you still why are you still on the internet when all this is happening around you?" But anyway, we all got taken for a big ride because no one wanted to say, "Hey, look, you know, you're lying," sort of thing outright. Because you know what, if it were true, you know. And then we had all these other fellow audience members on Twitch Googling Georgia, USSR, to find out whether there was actually ongoing military conflict over there. And I couldn't see anything, so it's really quite funny. Yeah, and then finally he had to get off because he had to take his dad to the hospital and whatnot, so it was really quite dramatic. All right, here you go. Let's move this. Okay, I'm gonna leave. I've got a little bit left here, and I'm actually going to just deep fry this as little fishbowl chunks. All right. Thanks, Google. Yeah, I know. Thank God for Google. Let me just clean up a little bit because I just spilled something here. Okay. So we got, like I said, the cucumber, the lettuce, and then Kettle was saying how like the Russians were targeting his dad because his dad was the leader of the resistance and whatever, and that they killed his mom a few years back. So people are thinking, oh gee, this is serious. You know, you don't want to be making fun of like someone's parents. So we all got taken for a big fat ride. All right, let's heat up some oil, and I'm only actually going to like like virtually just dip it in the oil, and I'm gonna finish the frying in the air fryer, partly to speed it up, but also partly because eggplant has a tendency to absorb a lot of oil. All right. Now I actually think something's going on with Georgia and Russia, like for real. Oh yeah, right. Who's gonna believe it? Nightbot says that touch me. All right, I'm not going to use this for the oil. Let's continue now. Put in the oil. Okay, there's not a whole lot of oil here, but because, like I said, we're actually going to finish it off in the air fryer, we don't need as much oil as we usually would. But yeah, as I was saying, eggplant is like a sponge, the way it absorbs oil. All right. So in the days before I had an air fryer, I would actually like deep fry it, find that it's just soaking, dripping wet with oil, and then like just stick it in a sieve like when it comes out and let all the oil drip out. All right. My brother CS, when he used to make it, he would actually like gently pat each one of them with paper towels to soak up the oil. So it's fairly labor intensive, but for the fact that I've got an air fryer, which will help like actually like you know, well basically it means you use less oil. Stream keeps buffering on my side. Anyone else getting that? I think it's just you, Cookie. How you doing? Anyone else? Something about South Ossetia wanting to be an independent country. Is that right? South Ossetia. Never heard of it. Hey Sue, how you doing? Don't forget anyone from New South Wales, say hello, because I've got one final Ayam giveaway, that 4-pack of sauces, courtesy of Ayam Australia, New Zealand. So speak up, but you have to say I'm from New South Wales and I haven't won one of these, and I am a follower of yours on Twitch, twitch.tv/JackieMFood, all right? And just to be sure, say it in Twitch itself so that I can see it. So I'm monitoring my Facebook page share, and I'm monitoring my YouTube share. I'm not monitoring my Google Plus share, and I'm not monitoring my Periscope share. All right, so say it on Twitch, and I will basically throw your name in the list that I'm going to provide to Ayam Australia. All right, so this is not hot enough, but we're gonna just lightly dip this and dip this in oil. We'll try rebooting. Cool. All right, so we're just lightly drenching it in a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit too heavy. I did not mean to do that. So it's going into my air fryer over here, the air fryer basket. This is an Optimum Healthy Fry, by the way, guys. And this, along with the Thermocook, were sent out to me by Prestige Home Appliances here in Australia, and they supply these kinds of appliances. All right. All right. By the way, this whole like air frying my eggplant thing was actually Cookie's idea. All right. She's probably rebooting her PC, so she wouldn't realize that I gave her a shout out. But yeah, Cookie is actually I cook and I bake. So I cook, I bake. She's got a blog, which is I cook and I bake blogspot.com.au. You will find her blog, and Cookie is actually someone, I'm guessing she's about my age, but you know, it's hard to tell. I'm guessing she's about my age, but she's been in Australia about as long as I have, and she's from Malaysia originally as well. So she's a pretty mean cook. Okay, let's air fry that. Let's throw the rest of this in here. Again, just lightly dousing it in oil. every time I'm one of these people who are a little bit obsessive about like washing up everything as I go along. So it kills me that I can't do that here because there's no sink, and obviously it's not really like practical for me to be washing up while I'm live streaming. But the one thing that kills me most about live streaming and my cooking is the mountain of dishes I have to tackle at the end of this. Here we go. Alright, this is actually getting quite hot now. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit because I'm going to, I don't want it to overheat for when I do my next dish, alright? So to everyone that I owe giveaways to, Fruit Loops is one who won last week. Fruit Loops, you gave me your street number and street name and your postcode, but you didn't give me your suburb name, all right? If I don't hear back from you by today, I'm going to take a stab at your suburb name because I did Google your address. I Googled your postcode, and that's like, seriously, there's like 20 suburbs connected to that postcode. You would think that postcodes are unique to each suburb, but no. There's like about 20 suburbs associated with that postcode. But then when I plugged in your street address, it gave me just the one suburb. So I'm going to make an educated guess and send that as your address, unless I hear back from you otherwise, all right? So sometimes there's a delay with giveaways because I don't want to be going to the post office every day, but sometimes there are delays with giveaways because of incomplete information. All right, it's not always my fault. It's mostly my fault because I hate going to the post office anyway. Plus, I've been sick, like I said, for about 6 weeks. Okay, so these have been lightly drenched in oil. I'm just going to turn this. Is actually smoking hot now. Let's turn it down a little bit. So I've got the leftover fish paste, which I'm going to actually just spoon into here. And soybean. Oh, thanks for hosting. And just fry up as little fishbowl lumps. I'm not gonna try and get them round and pretty, okay? I actually like them a little bit rough because the rough surface allows you to fry it a little bit better. Okay. But traditionally, if you were making fishbowl, you will hold a lump of fish paste in your hand and then squeeze it through between your thumb and index finger like this, okay? Or if you mold this into a rectangular shape, then you will get a fish cake, okay? You imagine once you fry it up, you get like a flat rectangular shape of fish paste. And then what you do is you slice it up, okay? Love stuffed eggplant, Tui. I know, I bet you don't get stuffed eggplant in Myanmar. Alright, so let's turn this around. And if I want, I can actually fry this a little bit longer because the oil in the air fryer will help it to, help extract some of the oil as well, alright? So right after this, we're going to then fry up the vegetables. Like I said, we're going low carb, alright guys? I need to lose some weight. For my next video series, I need to lose weight. Okay, here you go. If not for Christmas. Okay, just turn this back on. Let me just clear out a couple more things. far as the ingredients that we're going to use to braise, because the eggplant, after it's been deep fried, we're actually going to braise it, okay? I've got a little bit of oyster sauce left, not much. I need to buy some more, but this is a, you know what, I've got some Ayam's oyster sauce. Let's have a look. So the giveaways, the Ayam giveaways are separate. All right, so the 9 people who've drawn the giveaways so far will be getting a pack of 4 of these sauces, which are 1 each of the hoisin sauce, lemon chicken sauce, the teriyaki sauce, and sweet and sour chicken sauce. And I have 1 more set to give away, so if you're from New South Wales, say hello, let me know you're from New South Wales. I should get my cook help to watch some of your videos. Yeah, you do that. That's the life of an expatriate. Chui is my sister, by the way, and she's got a personal chef who cooks for her now. Here you go. Let's turn this around. Okay, so this is nearly done. Usually, you would actually usually have a little bit more oil in this, okay, so you're not constantly making sure it's cooked on all sides. And also, you would know it's done when it starts to float up, but there's not enough oil really to achieve that. So we're going to do the whole agak-agak method, which is like guesstimating, okay. It's nearly done, by my estimation. Other types of Ayam sauces, guys, these are what they sent out to me. This is Ayam light soy sauce. This is for my personal use, it's not getting sent out to you. Ayam seasoning sauce over here, which is my stepmom's favorite. Ayam sweet soy, alright? There you go. Ayam dark soy, right? Ayam oyster sauce, okay, so if I run out, am back? Did I just hear you need to lose weight? Yeah, yes I do. Hey Cookie, I just came away from a marketing campaign, and really, I'm from New South Wales. Hey Lisa, yeah Lisa, go and follow me on Twitch. Let me just type in the URL, all right? Because this is a Twitch connected. Let me just go to twitch.tv/JackieMFood. And just hit follow there, alright? It doesn't cost anything. I know there's a subscribe button on Twitch that says it's $4.99 to subscribe. You don't actually need to subscribe. Just need to follow me on Twitch. You can sign in with your Facebook account, and I will send you out one of these. But just message me with your address if you could, please, Lisa. Okay, let's take this out. This is done. Here you go. Yeah, Cookie, I just came away from a marketing campaign, right, where they shot like about 10 videos of me. I've seen the first 3 and I'm thinking there's no way in hell I'm resharing that on my social media, because I look like a total hag. So I've got another series I'm gonna film in hopefully in about 7 weeks or so. So I want to make sure I look better then. All right. So these are some of the Ayam sauces that were sent out to me. All right. So if you seafood curry paste. This is actually a new product. I'm very intrigued by this. I haven't used it yet. I will let you guys know how I go. And Ayam fish sauce. I love the Ayam fish sauce. And that's oyster sauce as well. Okay. I thought I had a hoisin sauce as well, but they do a hoisin sauce. So these are the kind of products that Ayam produces. All right. Light soy, dark soy, seasoning sauce. I might actually use some of this today. Let's have a, like I say, it's one of my stepmom's favorites, but it's not something that that I ever really adopted. But I will today, all right? Just for the sake of it, just try and refresh my memory and still have it. Hey, Nissan, how you doing? I'm already following you on Twitch. Okay, cool, right there, Lisa. All right, can you send me your address, and I will add your name to the list. Okay, so we are done with the Ayam giveaways. Congratulations, Lisa Atherton. Lisa Allerton. Sorry, I need glasses. Okay, Ayam seasoning sauce. I want to use this in my eggplant dish, I think. Let's see how this is going. So I've got more eggplant to fry up later on. Look, let me just fry them up a little bit more so that they'll need less time in the air fryer, all right? and then we can go on to stir frying the vegetables, which will only take 5 seconds. Where to send you my DD? Your ad? Yeah. There's a chat. There's a whisper option on Twitch. I don't know if you're watching this on your desktop or your phone, but how do you do a whisper? I think you do a slash. Somebody posted the command the other day. I think you do slash whisper at Lisa test unrecognized. Okay, that's not it. My laptop. All right. At the bottom of your screen, there's what looks like a chat box. In the Twitch chat itself, at the bottom right of the Twitch chat, there's what looks like a dialog box. That's a whisper. So if you click on that and expand it, and just start typing in my ID, Jackie M Food, it should recognize it and pull it up, and then you just send me a message that way. All right, let's throw in. I have never bought it before. Good, you will use that seasoning sauce today. Yeah, I know. It's like I said, it's one of my stepmom's favorites, you know. But I just, my stepmom, in all honesty, is a little bit sometimes a bit more adventurous than I am in terms of using sauces. I'm very traditional. That's why Ayam actually produces a lot more products. As you can see from the sets that they're sending out, the lemon chicken sauce and all that. As for personal sampling, I didn't ask for the lemon chicken sauce and that sort of stuff, all right? I basically asked for base sauces, which are soy sauce, fish sauce, and that sort of stuff. So I'm fairly traditional in terms of my preference, in terms of like doing, in terms of sauces for my recipes. Because sometimes you see brands expand their repertoire and they produce seafood sauce and that sort of stuff. And the problem is that when you write a recipe, then you are required, as a matter of course, because nobody else is making seafood sauce, right? You're required, as a matter of course, to actually support a specific branded product, all right? And that limits people's ability to be able to replicate it. Like if you can't buy Ayam, whatever, you know, Likamki seafood sauce in, you know, whatever, then you're stuck, all right? So I prefer to just use the basics, like the soy sauce, the light soy, the fish sauce, and that sort of stuff. All right, so yeah, Cookie, I was telling everyone that it was your recommendation that I finish off the frying in the air fryer, which has been a lifesaver for me as far as frying my stuffed eggplant. It used to, one of the turn-offs of cooking stuffed veggies was the fact that you had to fry this forever, standing over the stove, and then finding that it's just soaking with oil at the end of it. All right. So like I said, we're only going to do this halfway and let the air fryer finish it off. I'll just check if Lisa managed to send me the whisper. Okay, not yet. It's hard to describe to people. Cookie, maybe you can describe to Lisa how to send the whisper on Twitch. This pair of tongs is annoying me. Oh, there you go, got it. Thanks, Lisa. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Thank you. Got it. Okay, so my next lot of giveaways is going to be the satay boys that you've heard me talk about at length over the last couple of weeks. This is what they look like. Alright, this is the mild version, satay boys. Okay, it's not Malaysian satay, this is Vietnamese satay, alright, S-A-T, the E is accented. And I've got 4 sets of 6 jars, alright, to go out to anyone around the world, alright, so they're very generous. This is available right through the month of November, but you gotta follow me on Twitch to be in the running for it. And also you'll get 3 jars of mild and 3 jars of hot, and I don't think I'll do it, I don't know, we'll see how we go anyway. That's running through November, and also by the end of November I am 17 followers, I think. At last count I am 17 or 18 followers short of 2,000 on Twitch. Alright, if I hit 2,000 by the end of November, I will do a draw for 2 sets of Ziegler and Brown barbecues. This one is restricted to Australian addresses, okay? Because you can imagine a barbecue unit's really big to send out. It's only available to Australian addresses because they can only send it or get you to pick up from an Australian outlet of barbecues galore. And these are valued at $749 Australian each, okay? So ask your friends to follow me on Twitch, alright? Especially if they're not Australian, that way you stand a better chance of of winning it, because like I said, there's an Australian restricted option. See a cookie? I know, right? That's what I mean about Twitch. Sometimes it's not, things are not immediately obvious, right? To this day, I have people who resist following me on Twitch because they think you have to actually pay for it. You don't. Alright? And to follow me on Twitch, if you're watching on a PC or laptop, you can just hit follow. But if you're watching on an iPad or a phone, you actually need an app for it. So look for the app, the Twitch app, and then hit the heart button, alright? The love button. That's how you follow me on Twitch on those platforms. Let's get rid of most of this oil. Okay, so I want the garlic and I want the dried shrimp, and we are first going to fry up the cucumber. Okay, let's heat this up. I did the same thing, Cookie. Alright, so there's about half a tablespoon of oil, or about 1 teaspoon of oil here. Not much. We're going healthy, remember? Well, maybe 2 teaspoons. Alright, more like half a tablespoon of oil, alright? Lots of garlic. And we're throwing in the minced dried shrimp. Like I said, it's optional. It's a good way to use up your leftover cucumber, by the way, guys. So cucumbers are not just for salads, you do stir fry them in Asia. Alright. So I'm just using a basic, like heavy based pan. Because this whole thing about the wok breath, wok hei, what we call in Cantonese, doesn't really apply for stir-fried cucumber, alright? It's virtually like a braised dish, in all honesty. Okay, so this is not generating a lot of heat, but again, like I said, it doesn't really matter for stir-fried cucumber. Let's throw it in. And if you're vegan, like I say, this is a good option. Tina, hey, how you doing? Florida, beautiful Florida. All right, so if you're vegan, you can use preserved radish. All right, the minced preserved radish is salty. It's a little bit sweet as well. It lacks the prawny undertone of preserved radish, preserved prawn, but obviously if you're vegan, you don't want that anyway. All right. So this is very versatile if you are looking for something that adds a bit of crunch and a bit of like salt and salty and sweet flavor to some vegan dishes. Okay. So you just want to actually just lightly soften this a bit and just throw in a bit of oyster sauce if you want, if that's what you want. You know what? I'm going to use the ayam oyster sauce. Where is it? Okay, this is the ayam oyster sauce. The ayam oyster sauce is actually gluten-free. Okay, for what it's worth. If it means something to you, I don't care about gluten-free stuff. Open this. Okay, I'm just going to taste test this a little bit, alright? Okay, the ayam oyster sauce is a little bit sweeter than the average oyster sauce, okay? So I'm not going to need to kind of like balance. Some oyster sauces can be quite straight out salty. If that's the case, then I would actually add a pinch of sugar to my stir fry as well. If you want a way to use up your chicken stock, I could actually stick some chicken stock in here, but I'm not going to bother with that because I'm not cooking that much. Okay, let's open up this. This is the ayam seasoning sauce. Where are we? Where's the label? Ayam seasoning sauce. Like I said, this is a favorite of my stepmom, so I'm just going to sprinkle some of this. I'm using it in lieu of soya sauce or fish sauce, alright? And just add a little bit of water to this. And you want to thicken this up a little bit. What you can do is just add some tapioca starch in with some water. I'm pretty sure this is tapioca starch. If not, it looks like tapioca starch, alright? I've put a little bit too much here, but we can use it for my next dish anyway. So tapioca starch plus water, or you can use cornstarch if you like. You can use potato starch too if you like. Just helps to thicken up your stir fry, okay? And depending on how you like your cucumber, you can let it simmer a little bit longer. But generally, this is adequate, okay? And you just want to cook the tapioca starch enough so that it doesn't taste floury, okay? And that's it. Out. And instead of oyster sauce, if you're going vegan, you can use vegetarian oyster sauce too, by the way. But otherwise, you can just put some salt in this, all right? This is actually how my mom, when my mom does fried cucumber, actually she just sprinkles some salt over it, okay? So you don't actually need the oyster sauce and stuff. And let's have a look at what's in the seasoning sauce. Here you go. How salty is that seasoning sauce in comparison to light soy sauce? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It's about on par. This seasoning sauce tastes to be like soy sauce plus chicken powder. See, seasoning is deceptive. Let me just have a read of the ingredients, all right? So basically, you know, soy sauce tends to be outright salty. Seasoning sauce tastes like it's got a little bit more body to it. So it doesn't actually contain MSG. Let's have a look, see what it says. It's got water, soy sauce, salt, fish protein, sugar, and food acid. Okay, so it's essentially soy sauce plus fish sauce plus sugar. Okay, so there you go. Seasoning sauce. The sugar is what gives it that body. That's why a lot of stir fries, you see me add a little bit of sugar to them, unless the oyster sauce has already got a sweetness to it, which this one does, okay? So let's go on to the next one. Okay, hang on. My Tina, I've never cooked cukes. I know, right? You see, I just want to do a little bit, something a little bit different, because people always imagine stir fries, you gotta get like Chinese greens and stuff. But in reality, growing up in an Asian household, it was quite common for us to do stir fried cucumbers and stir fried like lettuce, which is what we're going to do next. But anyway, this is the eggplant. All right, just taking it out. So air fry eggplant, you'll notice, is a lot less oily. You can see it. Usually it'll be drenched in oil and just dripping in oil and quite sometimes like borderline unpalatable, all right, until you drain it or blot it with like with paper towels and stuff like that. But the air fryer does all that for you. All right, so this is actually worth the investment in an air fryer alone, okay? And again, like I said, this is supplied to me by prestigehomeappliances.com.au. If you're interested in that, or in the Optimum Thermo Cook, which I use, which I said, like I said, is basically a competing product to the Thermomix. Okay, so let's air fry this. And we'll do stir fried lettuce next, okay? Here you go. I stir fry cucumbers all the time too. Oh, see, there you go. It's an Asian secret. We all stir fry cucumbers. People always, like I say, even you never see that because it doesn't seem like but at some point you realize, actually maybe some people don't realize you can stir fry things beyond your run-of-the-mill Asian greens, you know. So garlic again, a lot of garlic usually, but I'm saving this for my eggplant. All right, no, what the hell, I love my garlic, but I'm running low, of the fresh variety anyway, but I do have some dried garlic, so I'm gonna top it up. I love them with fresh prawns as well. Yeah, that's right, yeah, fresh prawns, yeah, that's a little bit luxurious. The other thing we eat a lot that maybe some people aren't aware of is like a steamed egg, right? Like you beat up the egg, you add water to it till it's like almost like really runny. The Japanese have more or less actually given it more prominence within Western cooks than the Chinese ever did. But we Chinese grew up, it's kind of like one of these poor people's food, all right? Okay, let's throw in the lettuce. Poor people food of like steamed egg, and then if you're feeling generous, you can throw in some prawns, or sometimes some minced meat as well, all right? So basically it's like a nice fluffy, I don't know how you would describe it. So again, college students on Twitch, all right? High school students from Twitch, you should have some lettuce in your fridge all the time. So this is one cheap and easy way to eat. I'm not even going to use up all of it. I'm going to save it up a bit. So garlic, vegetable, and my go-to is always oyster sauce. But like I said, you can actually just sprinkle some salt through this, all right? Which is how my mom used to make it. The oyster sauce. Throw a bit of water in here. And let's use some of that ayam seasoning sauce again. I think I might have to start using this. I mean, considering I'm always conflicted about using, should I use fish sauce or soya sauce in this? This one's got both, and it's got a dash of sugar in it as well. So this covers a few bases for me, really. So that's the ayam seasoning sauce, all right, guys? Never used it before in my own cooking. All right, you can have this a little bit crunchy, or again, you can simmer it a little bit longer, all right? So let's just add some more of that tapioca starch water slurry here. And of course, again, if you're vegetarian, you can use a vegetarian oyster sauce, or you can just, really just use, like I said before, just some salt, all right? Just a sprinkling of salt. Okay, if you want more sauce, you can. But there's something that will go well with rice, okay? If you're really like an impoverished uni student. I remember like I came to Australia with my family, so it wasn't too bad for us. But my brothers, like all the siblings, came to Australia as university students, and they were like, you know, they were a different level of impoverished when they came to Australia. And my brother told me that they used to eat rice with soy sauce when during their uni days. But if you were gonna have rice with soy sauce, you might as well have rice with soy sauce and some greens, okay, which makes it that much healthier for you. Okay, so this has shrunk up a little bit, but that's enough for, like, you know, for a nice healthy meal. There you go. All right, let's braise the eggplant, the young tofu, young eggplant, really. It's funny how the name of the dish literally means stuffed tofu, okay, which I guess, well, I haven't really researched the background to this. The other thing you notice I haven't used in either dish, which I traditionally would use a lot of, is chicken powder, okay, because this ayam seasoning sauce actually has enough flavor in it for me to bypass the whole chicken powder thing. All right, so this might actually convert me from away from my addiction to chicken powder. All right, let's add in some oil here. And for stuffed eggplant, we want a lot of eggplant, we want a lot of garlic, all right. And like I said, I'm going to actually just boost it with more garlic, the dried variety. Because my Australian friends found it weird I eat steamed eggs with rice because their mind steamed eggs like custard. Oh, damn Aussies, custard, travesty. Well, steamed eggs is such a nice comfort food, don't you reckon? And it's so cheap as well. So maybe one day we'll do the steamed egg live on air for the look, I've been asked a number of times, all right, by my Twitch audience, because my Twitch audience, if you're watching this anywhere else at all, my Twitch audience is quite young, all right? Is the ayam soy sauce similar to the Maggie's? Oh, you mean the seasoning? You know, now that you mention it, right, I think it was Maggie's seasoning sauce that my mom actually likes. So ayam, I don't think I've ever seen ayam seasoning sauce. In my opinion, this is better, okay? Because I mentioned how my mom loves the ayam, the seasoning sauce. Why I personally never used it was because I found that it had a fairly strong taste. This one doesn't. This one just tastes like a mixture of soy sauce plus fish sauce plus sugar, like what it says on the label. Okay, so we're just throwing the stuffed eggplant back into the pan here with a lot of garlic and a little bit of oil. All right, you can see it starting to fall apart a little bit, but it doesn't bother me because, like I said, it's a braised dish and it's meant to be like all, you know, smeared over rice, traditionally anyway. I'm Aussie, we don't generally think a steamed egg is a dessert. But that's the thing, right? Yeah, I think, you know, it was actually Maggie seasoning sauce my stepmom used to be big on, but this ayam one, I actually like it better. It doesn't have that, that kind of noticeable like undertone to it. Okay, oyster sauce goes in here. Okay, so as you can see, there's a certain like certain track that we're going with in all these stir-fried dishes, which is that oyster sauce figures prominently in it. The tofu, steamed eggs with minced pork, steamed eggs with salted eggs. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I'm on the last of my oyster sauce, and I've just basically thrown a bit of water in it, give it a bit of a shake just to get the residual oyster sauce in there. All right, and I've mentioned before, oyster sauces, different brands have different levels of saltiness to them, or sweetness, and that Thai one I just used up the rest of has more sweetness than average, as does this ayam one actually. All right. So some oyster sauces you'll find to be quite like outright salty. I prefer these ones that are just like have a little bit of sweetness to them. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna add a bit more water because I generally like a lot of water to go with my braised eggplant dish. Because like I said, usually I eat this with rice, okay? So you can eat like a whole mountain of rice, like and have just smeared all over it. But I'm trying to think what would go with rice instead of rice now that I no longer I'm doing the whole low carb thing. But the Japanese chawanmushi is the more well-known savory steak. Yeah, but that's what I mean. The chawanmushi is what Westerners seem to know. The Western foodies are familiar with chawanmushi, but they're not generally familiar with the Chinese style steamed veggie, which is basically the same. It's chawanmushi without a fancy name. All right, again some look. Again, a dash of my ayam seasoning sauce. All right, I really like this. Because usually if you've seen me do this, you usually would have seen me sprinkle a little bit of sugar, sprinkle some chicken powder, sprinkle some fish sauce over this, or soy sauce, okay? But in lieu of all that, I'm going to drizzle some ayam seasoning sauce in there. And throw in some tapioca starch slurry, okay? Again, if you don't have tapioca starch, cornstarch will do. I generally find that cornstarch is a little bit less starchy than tapioca starch, so you may need to use a little bit more of it than you otherwise would, okay? And potato starch is another option as well. I'm told most Chinese restaurants use potato starch, okay? But because it holds its starchiness longer. That's what I'm told. But that's what I'm told. I've used it and I'm not sure if it actually does, but you know. Maybe it's an old habit thing that dies hard or whatever, but yeah. All right, so that's my braised stuffed eggplant. All right, this is Hakka style. All right, stuffed eggplant. You can after you fry it, you can actually pretty much eat it any way you like. You can actually without braising it, you can actually drizzle it with hoisin sauce. All right, hoisin or what we call tim jong or sweet sauce in Malaysia, which is actually hoisin sauce. It's surprising a lot of Malaysians don't realize that tim jong is actually hoisin sauce. So drizzle with some hoisin sauce, some bottled chili sauce or sriracha or something like that, and have it on with a plate of like steamed rice noodles, right? And that's sprinkled with toasted sesame seeds. That will be like a breakfasty yong tau fu thing to eat. The other option you can have is actually just serve it in a bowl of clear broth, all right? That's what they do as well, quite popularly. Your chicken powder is going to be jealous. I know, right? I know. I'm thinking I haven't used chicken powder in any, well, apart from the fish paste thing, I haven't used it at all today. People are going to be horrified. It's like, what the hell's going on? No chicken powder in today's session. All right, more eggplant come out. But there you go. Let's take this out. And of course, if you've got some spring onion, you want some sliced spring onion thrown in here to give it a bit of color. You can do it while it's braising, or if you forgot, like I did, I'm just gonna cut it up now with my scissors and just throw it over the top. All right, so there you go. And that's my Hakka yong tau fu, Hakka braised eggplant. Let's let me clean this up a little bit. And I've got more of it. I don't know if I should cook it up now. I might as well. So let's do another lot of this. And just finish off the rest of the eggplant. So I guess if you don't have an air fryer, you can throw this under the grill as well after you've like half fried it, and the grill will hopefully like help to finish it off, brown it up, and also expel some of the residual oil as well. Okay, so there you go. Okay. One last lot. Let me just put this other thing away. Look, if you're really like you know, if you're a perfectionist, you would actually want to rinse out your wok before you go on to the next dish. All right. I can't seem to find a bassett fillets at Woolworths. How weird is that? Do you have like chest freezers at your Woolies that sell a bunch of different types of seafood? Because at my Woolies they have like they have like squid, they have like salmon like chunks and all that, and basically bassett fillets in among all that. But I'm surprised that you don't have it at yours. That's a bit disappointing. But Aldi has some as well. The same price, different brand. To be fair, it may just be my imagination. I thought that the Aldi bassett fillets were a little bit more soggy. All right. Okay. Minced garlic. Throw this in. Okay, usually you would want to actually toast the garlic a little bit longer, but because this is already dry, it will burn very quickly if I try to brown it. Okay. Aldi sells them. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I used to buy them from Aldi actually. Okay. Again, oyster sauce. This time I'm using the ayam one. Okay. And water. What do I do with my water? Oh, here it is. Look, let me just. My mom likes to actually kind of like saute the sauces a little bit. Sometimes I get lazy, I throw everything in with the water and all that. But my stepmom generally likes to actually, like, when she puts any sauce, she likes to just like let it fry up a little bit. Okay, so you can do that. Then add some water. And this time, let's throw in the spring onion. And again, this is the last of the slurry, tapioca starch plus water. Now about 3 branches of Woolies. I'm very surprised, Cookie. I usually assume that like you Melbournians, considering how you brag about being the food capital of Australia, that you have better stock of all these kind of ingredients, you know. Because I know in Sydney sometimes we struggle to find certain things that Melbourne people say, oh yeah, you can get it just over here, sort of thing. But I'm surprised you can't find the bassett fillets. All right. Here you go, so the water plus cornstarch or tapioca starch slurry. This one's a lighter batch, you can see, compared to my previous one. It's got a bit more water to it, that will have something to do with it. Let me just taste test this. Okay, we could use more of this seasoning sauce, alright? So let's just sprinkle it. More oyster sauce. Okay, it's fine. There you go. Okay, what do you think? Should we do a draw for the the satay boys? Hollywood, how you doing? Are you really live right now? No, I'm not. Hollywood, I think I owe you a giveaway, right? I was just compiling the list because because I do them in batches. I was just compiling the list last night, and I don't know. I think you might have a giveaway coming, or either that, or you just had some sent out to you. I forget now. All right. So, should we do a Satay Boys giveaway? What time is it there? It is 1:40 p.m. All right, so I've got these jars of Satay Boys sauces. They are Vietnamese condiments, essentially. Traditionally, they are eaten with pho, the beef soupy noodles, right? But it's so versatile. You can have it with anything. You can have it with rice dishes, and apparently some people have actually tossed them through the Lebanese garlic sauce, toum, and that I've tried that as well. And that works out really well. So it's like basically like an oily chili sauce. You can see it over here. It's got things like garlic and dried shrimp through it. Okay, and there's two different versions: a mild and a hot cookie. We went to a Korean place for lunch over the weekend. They had this side dish that was so yummy. I thought it was some sort of marinated gluten slices because it was nice and chewy. I asked the waitress, it was fish cake. Okay, well, let me know how you go. Yeah, I mean, if it turns out, I might have a go at it too. All right, should we do a giveaway? All right. Okay, so you're only 5 hours behind us. It's Monday for you. It is Monday. Yeah, it is. Of course, of course we're ahead of you, Hollywood. All right, so you get 3 jars each of the mild and the hot, courtesy of Satay Boys. Their website is satayboys.com.au, and you can find out more about the products over there. Let me just bring up their image. Let's have a look. Where is it? Satay Boys. Okay. Okay, you see it over here? That's the Satay Boys sauces. Copy is still Sunday here. All right, let's do a giveaway since we've got some international people in the mix. Are we ready? Okay, if you're watching this anywhere else apart from Twitch, this will only work if your name will only go in the draw if you're part of my Twitch audience. All right. So hop over to Twitch, twitch.tv/JackieMFood, and I am going to pull up Lock Tools again. And once your name is drawn, you've got 60 seconds to let me know you're around. Where is it? Lock Tools. Here we go. Lock Tools. Let's launch. Okay, add. Where are we? Screen capture. That's what I want. Okay, Lock Tools. Let's add viewers. Load. Okay, so you're in with a good chance, guys. What are we? Anyone here that shouldn't be here? Okay, are we ready? Are we ready? Let's do a draw. Start animation. Like I said, anyone who's not over on Twitch, hop over to twitch.tv/JackieMFood, and Lock Tools will automatically pick up your names. Anyone else? Load. Okay. Okay, got a couple more names. Anyone else? Let's roll it, okay? A good run. Disco potato, Aldi here, frozen bass fillets, Coles have both frozen and non-frozen. Cool. Edge or Night, are you around? Azure Knight. Okay, come on, Azure Knight. Are you around still, or are you just... Oh, no, right? You won again. There you go. Missed by 2, I know, right? Azure Knight, okay, cool, right here. Azure Knight, can you do me a favor? And I know I've got your address previously, but can you just send me a whisper? Because I'm losing, what I'm finding is I'm telling people, oh yeah, you've won something before 2 months ago, I've still got your address, and then I forget about them, all right? So can you just send me a whisper? Because this is going to the Satay Boys in a batch. Yeah, send me a whisper with your address. And also just mention, just say for the Satay Boys giveaway, all right? Just so I remember who it is, because what I was doing last night was driving me crazy. I was messaging everybody left, right, and center. I'm not sure what it was you won like 6 weeks ago, but I'm supposed to send it out to you. So it's really, really embarrassing. So moving forward, guys, let me know what it is you won. And also just send me your address again so that I can keep track of it, because yeah, they don't get sent out immediately. They get sent out in batches, all right? Okay, great. Thanks so much for playing, guys. I really appreciate it. And yeah, okay, Azure Knight, I hope that helps with it. Azure Knight actually won a giveaway a few weeks ago, and she never received the goods because for whatever reason they got lost en route, all right? The other 9 people all got theirs, but she was the one person who didn't get hers, so she's been holding out this whole time. I thought I had it. I know, I thought Cookie won it too. I was thinking it just paused at Cookie and then it popped over to Azure Knight. Sorry about that, Cookie. So we've got 2 more sets of that to give away, guys. So keep an eye out for that. But I'll stretch it out, you know, over the course of November. All right. So thanks very much to Satay Boys for this latest giveaway, and I will see you guys. Let's just go over what we did again. So we got the stir-fried cubes. All right, with sprinkling of dried shrimp, which is optional, by the way, guys. We've got the stir-fried lettuce. It's looking a little bit sad. The other thing you can do with lettuce is just blanch it lightly and then drizzle oyster sauce over it, okay? And a sprinkling of the seasoning sauce, I think would work really well as well. So that's all you need to do. But if you want, you can stir-fry it, like I said, but you got to eat it pretty fast because it does look a little bit sad. Okay, and we did the stuffed eggplant, the yong tofu, okay? Right here, there you go. Thanks very much, guys, and I will see you. My fingers crossed, postal service come true for you on this one. Yeah, I know. This time I'm going to make them like track the delivery because it gets hard when it's not tracked. I forgot to tell the previous sponsor that they have to track the delivery. They did no parcel tracking on that, so they just said, oh, you know. And then I had to step up and say, okay, I'll compensate you, Azure Knight. Anyway, but never again. You learn it. You learn as you go along, right? But Ayam was clever. Ayam said they will cover it, but only to New South Wales. So that restricts some of my viewing demographic, but it does mean that, like, you know, no messing around from their end as well. Okay, right here. Thank you so much, guys. So my next broadcast is this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Sydney time, which would be basically like either late night in the USA or somewhere middle of the night, basically, most likely. Thanks again for sticking around, and I will see you then. All the recipes, by the way, are at jackiem.com.au or will be, all right? So all my broadcasts are free, and essentially it's your free cooking lesson courtesy of Jackie M. But don't forget to go and visit jackiem.com.au for all your Asian recipe stuff that I've been posting over the years. I will see you again. Thanks, guys. Ciao.